this is kind of a launching pad into our next topic here, but this is now where we close one chapter of college football and enter into the next, that being the 12-team playoff. But not just the 12-team playoff, but it's now, well, it doesn't become official until I think June or July, that all these teams that have switched conferences, you got four new ones to the Big 12, 4 new teams to the Big 10, which Washington is included in that, and so on, right?
Yeah. The SEC is adding. Yeah. No, yeah, it's a new era of college football at the top, which is FBS. And with that is the 12-team playoff. So yeah, it's interesting. And as you said, with that launching point, look at how Freeman's coming into 2024.
Yes. Oh, yes. And, I know people are frustrated that in the first, I obviously his first year didn't go as we planned. And, I was wanting to make a video just about this alone, all the typical insults that people continue to make. Oh, you lost to Marshall. Oh, join a conference, this and that. Freeman is taking this team in the right direction. And what we're going to talk about right now is look at the guys, not only the classes that he's put together for recruiting, but look at the guys he's been able to snag in the transfer portal. Now, listen, everybody feels one way or another about the transfer portal. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, doesn't matter. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. The only thing that I can see happening with the transfer portal is, maybe they make some rules with it, some different guidelines, which even I agree, some of it's getting ridiculous, like guys that are transferring to their third or fourth or even fourth school in some degrees, which of course, the COVID year has a lot to do with that, because you're in college for 6 years. So
right.
You get what I'm saying with that.
Yes.
So that's the only thing that I can see happening to the transfer portal. But other than that, it's here to stay. And like Brad Pitt said in the movie Moneyball, adapt or die. So it's something that we all have to adapt to.
Yep.
People you can cry all day long, like, oh, this is ruining college football. Get rid of it. I understand where you're coming from. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily say it's ruining college football, but what I think it could ruin is not knowing what commitment is and all that other stuff, which we'll save for another video. But it's here to stay. Might as well get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since it is here, we might as well talk about the amazing job that Coach Freeman has done in taking advantage of it. And you talk at these incoming guys, Ben, that we have coming from the transfer portal. It's a pretty amazing job. Now,
yeah.
let's just start with the obvious one. And I know it sounds like we're playing catch up here, people. We're not, but this is just the first chance that we've gotten to be able to talk about it here on a video. But
the dust has officially settled for this season too. The season's over. We kind of know where things are headed. There'll still be a few guys that transfer places and all that, but for the most part, the dust has settled, and that's more of what we wanted to go for.
Well, the first one that Coach Freeman was able to pick up, and I know people don't like the idea of bridge quarterbacks, but this is where it's necessary. He was able to go out and get Riley Leonard from Duke. Now, despite what's happened with Riley Leonard, he got hurt when they played against us last year. He has his flaws, but this was a great pickup for Coach Freeman in a quarterback situation where we're not really sure what's going to happen. But of course, I have my predictions of what's going to happen with our quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing Riley Leonard, we know what he's able to do. We got to see him heads up against when we played Duke earlier halfway through the season. It was the week after we lost to Ohio State. And of course, in that game, we were coming in feeling down. We struggled in that game. It took Sam Hartman to pick up like a 4th and 16 or whatever to keep the drive alive, and we end up scoring the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
So I don't have numbers in front of me, but this is a kid that I think Marcus Freeman can do some work with, and Mike Denbrock as well. And oh boy, do I love that. By the way, Mike Denbrock coming back to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That obviously should have been one of the first things we talked about. But hey, stuff happens. But I think Marcus Freeman and Mike Denbrock are going to bring out the best in this kid. And, he's not a bad quarterback. I mean, of course, the armchair quarterbacks on the message boards and the Facebook groups are going to shoot their mouths off. But I see a lot of potential in this kid to do some good things for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think Leonard is there for two. I think there's two big reasons that Leonard is here. And in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons is tutoring the future. That is Carr. Carr enrolled early. He's there, and to me that says that Freeman's rolling with Carr.
Well, and that's
Leonard is there to win games, obviously. But the biggest thing is that he has the experience. He knows what's going on. He knows what to do in every situation. He's been through it. Angeli hasn't. I love Angeli. Okay, I'm a New Jersey guy. I'm from Jersey. I love seeing us get guys from New Jersey. He comes from a phenomenal high school that is Bergeron Catholic. Everybody talks about, the Permian Panthers of Texas and, some of these academies in Florida and all that. But, you want to talk about the East and a school that deserves a ton of respect. It is Bergeron Catholic out of New Jersey. And Angeli comes from there. I just think that he doesn't have the game experience and the knowledge that Leonard has to teach Carr. Is Angeli a winner? Of course. We saw it in the bowl game. Angeli can do it when he wants to do it. Like, he's got it. But he also isn't a Freeman guy. People need to remember that too. He wasn't recruited by Freeman. He was recruited by Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
So there's also that. So yeah, he's the guy that I was hoping would be QB1, but now that Leonard has transferred in and Freeman has brought him in, obviously you go with the senior that has been through the fire and the flames and that knows what to do in every situation. Now, obviously, we're going to have a camp, and obviously, we're going to see a battle, and I would hope that if Angeli outduels Leonard, that we see Angeli start instead of Leonard, and Freeman's not that, bullheaded, but, only time will tell.
Right.
But the bigger pickup, in my opinion, is the receivers that we've gotten from the portal.
Yes, everybody was so worried about what we lost.
I wasn't worried about the QB room. The QB room is in a decent spot. Okay. And if you have a good line and good receivers around a quarterback like Angeli, you can make a run. But you have to have that receiving core. And we just got that receiving core.
Let's start with the big one, Chris Mitchell from Florida International. Now of course I'd be lying to all of you if I said that I watch a ton of the American Conference football. I don't watch a lot of the American, but Florida International is in the American, right?
Yes.
I didn't think they were in Conference USA. No. So anyway, I digress. So you look at his numbers. You look at Chris Mitchell's numbers. Last year. Let's see. Oh shoot! I'm wrong. This is his. No, here it is. So his last season, 64 catches, 1,118 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's the kind of receiver that we need for this receiving core.
Well, and you're doing that at Florida International. You're not doing that at Alabama. You're not doing that at Texas, Washington, Michigan, where you have two other guys that the defense has to worry about. I mean, Washington has 3 wide receivers that are going into the NFL draft. Like, you pick up one of those, okay, cool. You pick up a guy like him with those kinds of numbers, that tells you how elite that he is.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to do much before his breakout season, because in total he has 1,663 yards and 12 touchdowns in his time at Florida International. The breakout obviously came last year, so I'd like to think with the right tools, the right coaching, he can have just a very similar season, if not better, this upcoming year than he did last year.
Yep, and then someone that's going to be lining up with him, who is Bo Collins, is a monster. 6'3", 210 pounds, coming out of Clemson, transferring to us. You talk about a big boy. That's a big boy, like, for a receiver. I mean, that's a throw the ball up and let him go get it. He's like the next Claypool for us.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, so, like, let's go. Let's go.
And so bottom line is everybody was worried about the transfers that we lost, which as far as receivers go, I would have liked to. I wish that guys like Merriweather and Rico Flores and who were the other ones that transferred out? So we had 4 of them.
Well, we lost Tyree too, which doesn't help.
Yeah, Chris Tyree.
I mean, he was a dual athlete. You know, he was receiver and running back. But yeah, I mean, those guys that we lost, it hurts. It definitely hurts. But we got 3. You know, we forget that we also picked up Jaden Harrison from Marshall, 5'11", so he's a little on the smaller side, but he's a speedster. So you have your go up and get the ball receiver, and you have your speed.
Yes,
I mean, you have your 3 on top of who we have left, and on top of who we have coming in on our recruiting class.
Well, and then also
after the huge departure of our not only receivers coach, but our receiving core.
Yes. So in other words, to sum it up, we were able to restock and reload big time.
Yeah. I mean, and we picked up a couple defensive guys, but the defense without those guys coming in was still solid. I mean, we saw the return of Watts and the return of Lamb. Is that right? Jack Lamb? Am I saying that right? No.
Kaiser.
Jack Kaiser. I'm sorry. I'm getting guys from the past mixed up. You know, those 2 guys coming back is huge for our defense. So, like, the defense isn't in the spot where we're like, oh, well, we're going to need to really hit that portal if we want to get back to where we need to be. Nope. You know, so.
But still, though, guys like defensive back Rod Hurd from Northwestern and the kid that we got from Arizona State. Yeah, Arizona State, Jordan Clark. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're not going to turn them down.
Pickups, for sure.
You're gonna welcome that experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the defense is going to be absolutely just solid coming into next year. I mean, that's just, and I think that has to do with Freeman. I mean, obviously Freeman was a defensive guy from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has all the defensive experience in the world. You know, every position coach that he's been until this and coordinator has been defense. So obviously that's paying dividends.